Hi everyone, Trees. Got an interesting story for you. Now this video, I apologize for it being a little bit longer than what I usually like to do. I had the opportunity to, I was invited to sing at a local senior citizens home here the other day. It was quite interesting. There was some other people there doing instruments and whatnot. I was the special guest. A friend of ours works there, and she told him about, that I had to do a little singing and stuff. They said, well, invite him over to come up and sing. So we're there, and the place is full. It's a cafeteria. They had seats set up, and all the elderly people there, and it just so happened to be a 105th birthday of one of the residents. Excuse me. And we're standing there, and they had a makeshift stage with like curtains and stuff, and the other acts went on, and then they invited me to come up. Well, the first thing I did was happy birthday to you, happy birthday to the gentleman. Well, at the end of a couple songs, they wanted to take about a 15-minute break to give the residents a little bit of a break. When you get older, they say you go through your second childhood. So, a lot of ADHD there. I know. I'm that way. My attention span is not as long as it used to be. This little old gentleman walked up to me. He couldn't have been 5 foot tall, had his cane. He says, looked up at me, he said, son, do that train song. It didn't register with me. Train song. I'm thinking, what in the world? I said, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, oh, that one, we all get on the train and go to heaven. I said, all aboard? He said, yeah, that train song. So I assumed that's what he wanted. Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, hey, I made the big time. I'm a big YouTube star. Somebody's seen one of my videos. Well, after the break, some of the acts went and did it, and the magician that they had, he didn't make it the first half, so he was going to go on before. I was going to do the last of the program, and the magician was on before me. Now, my singing, following a magician, that's a little hard to believe, but the way it is. Well, he got up there, and, he pulled out the hanky and stuffed it in his hand, and next thing you know, he pulled out 6 feet of hankies all tied together, and a couple little things like that. He pulled out an old stopwatch, similar to this, except a lot better. He said, all right, I want to hypnotize you. Now, I've always been skeptical of this hypnotism stuff. I figured they always had implants out there in the audience to do it. But here you got 50, 60 elderly folks and some staff lined up around there. Let's see what happens. He said, this old watch of mine, he said, it belonged to my great-grandpa. He said he was a conductor way back yonder on the old trains. And he said, I want you to watch it. So he started swinging it back and forth, and I'm watching the audience. I'm curious. I want to know what the heck's going on here. And next thing I know, I'm looking at people, and they just got this blank look on their face. There's a little nurse next to me, and I'm thinking, what in the world? And I'm not watching the magician, just glancing up there every now and then, and he's watched the watch. And there's this gentleman, distinguished gentleman. He was decked out in a nice suit. Polished, and he's standing there in the back. And everybody, you talk about the apocalypse. This is what's going to happen with the apocalypse. Somehow the government's going to hypnotize everybody, and we ain't going to know what we're doing. Anyway, he said, okay, do what I say. Put your right hand on your head. Right hands went up on their head, everybody's head. Even a little nurse and the distinguished gentleman back there had his right hand on his head. I'm thinking, now this is crazy. He said, okay, put your left hand on your head. Everybody put the left hand on their head. Being the skeptical I am of this kind of stuff, I'm thinking, holy crap, this can't be right. Well, next thing I know, he's swinging his watch. And for some reason, the chain broke. He went, "Oh, crap." Well, I heard it took him 2 days to clean that mess up.